Hi, and in today's video, I'm going to share with you the advice I wish I'd given myself when I was a composer at 15. Hi, my name is Euan and welcome to Euan Smith Music. I want to say that if anything about this channel you would like or would like to be a part of, then please hit the thumb and also subscribe to the channel if you want to be kept up to date with future uploads. Now obviously the landscape has changed a lot for music and music education in ways in which people access music, in ways in which people promote music, and the ways in which people are making music as well is far more collaborative, and indeed the quality of the sounds that will be used are far more original, from people using sampled libraries to people using instruments that they're making themselves from. Now when I was 15, I had a MIDI keyboard connected to a sound module connected to a computer. Now this was equipment that I was able to borrow, and I was then able to get that in the summer holidays and have a little tinker and an experiment with, which was amazing. So I then created loads of tapes of ideas. How I would do that was I would use a program that you will all be familiar with, but in its early days, Cubase, and of course learning how to connect a sound module, access those sounds, creating different sound worlds. Composing was something I was really seriously passionate about, and I wanted to try and really build on my skills here, but it wasn't really understood. Not many people knew what to do in terms of where to direct me or the opportunities that I could go for. Compared to then, nowadays there are so many more opportunities for emerging and young composers to take part in, and this is how I break it down. So let's start with the tools. I would recommend the tools that you would use would be things like free sound libraries from Spitfire Audio, their labs, and also the community over at Piano Book, where people are using their skills and their instruments to be able to create sampled sounds for you to be able to use. There's also entry-level libraries for you to use, and of course the subscription model at East West Sounds. There are plenty more libraries that are paid for, and I will leave some of these in the description below as well. Secondly to that, you do not need to have notation skills to be a composer. You can simply use your voice, you can use handheld devices. So much easier now to capture audio and ideas and music on the go than it was when I was at school. So you had to literally book time or to sit down and really think about those ideas. Now you've got an idea, if you don't know notation, quickly record it into your phone or record it into a device, and you've got it there ready for you to pick up later on. You only need a simple piece of kit, your phone, tablet, or a simple computer with a simple MIDI device. Now a MIDI device could include a keyboard, or it can include something like the Launchpad by Novation. Anything at all that can trigger a sound, can record a sound, can make a sound. You can easily use that in your recording and your music making, and that's what I basically did. Just by learning, by doing, just keep going and going and going. Nowadays you've got competitions that you can be a part of, you've got free resources if you want to practice your film scoring, or indeed listen to other people in terms of what they've done by going to websites such as the QTube, where basically you can download free videos that you can score to, and I'm going to be sharing some of my ideas in the coming weeks as well, so please do hit subscribe if that's something that you're into. When I was a kid, I used to have a friend who had a camcorder, and we used to make spoof videos together. Now interestingly, the story with that is that friend then moved to New Zealand, and that person is now involved in the film industry over there, so he's able to get together lots of people who he knows are into film, and he was asking me to get involved in writing a short score for a short film that was filmed and turned around, scripted, edited, directed, you name it, everything in less than 48 hours. So those are really good. So friends and people who you know who are keen to be creative, get involved with them, start a network of people as well. Now of course you've got social networks. There are plenty of composers networks out there as well. A really good community, as I mentioned earlier, at Piano Book. Really good composers that are emerging, such as Dan Keane and many others. Many film composers. You've got really good resources who you can just reach out and ask questions of on both Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. So you've got people who you can ask directly, and if you are sensible and you're not spammy, reach out, join communities on Facebook, and then you will be very quickly in with the Composers Network, and you'll find that everyone has got similar questions and similar issues. So by doing that and being a part of the network and communicating with others, that will be an amazing opportunity, and it's so much easier now than what it was when I was 15. So you might be wondering, how do you find your own sound? How do you become that composer that stands out in the crowd? Well, you've got to just keep writing. You can't just listen to something and replicate someone else's sound. You've got to try and find your own. For me, I'm born in Scotland. I've got a lot of Scottish folk roots. I like film music. I bring those two worlds together, so when I'm writing music, I've got very much a folky flair, but an orchestral flair as well. And I think that gives me a distinct sound. I still think myself I'm finding my own sound, but the more you write and the more you experiment and the more you learn from others, the more you will find that sound as well. Be bold, be different, and know your craft. At the end of the day, It's ultimately the ideas that will sell you, not the most amazing equipment. There'll be days where you'll be at the computer, or you'll be sitting down at a keyboard, or you'll be playing on your guitar or your violin or whatever, and you think, I just cannot get this music out. I just cannot get it out. Don't worry about it. Just sketch it out. Sketch out ideas. Use something to record those ideas down. If you're notating it by hand, sketch down the notes. Even if you're just writing down the note names. If you've got something to record with, just press record, play a few phrases in there, play a few bars, play a few notes, and you never know, the simplest of ideas can grow into the most amazing ideas. Now, when I was at uni, there was something called the performer composer, the idea of someone who would perform their own compositions, and that's something which is absolutely prevalent. You might not feel like the most confident of performers, but certainly in trying out your own ideas and sharing them with others, either by just streaming them live, which is something that I'll come on to, or just by recording yourself on a video and then sharing it online with family and friends, will build up that confidence to test your ideas with an audience, to say, do you like this? Or I just thought I'd sit down and improvise on the piano, hope you like it. And people will respond to that if it's genuine and heartfelt. So test out your ideas, and it's amazing how far that they will go. Again, promotion of your work is so much more phenomenally available now than it was when I was 15. So I would definitely say, if you aren't already, especially as a 16-year-old, which is the required age for most of the social networks, would be to use that purely for promoting your music and also for sharing your craft with your friends and family. The more people see you, the more people hear you, the more you're just trying out ideas, the more people will support you, and they can ask them for tips. You can actually get them to respond to you in trying out these ideas. And you never know, if you do it and it works, amazing. And if you don't and it doesn't work, then that's fine, you've tried it. It's not a massive problem. So there's a lot made of the business side of composition as well. So there's lots of options. If you want to train yourself to be a self-publishing composer, then obviously the route would be simply, you would have a series of social networks, you would build your own website, you would start to post ideas on there, and you can actually pay for an online aggregator or distributor to be able to promote your music across all the different online spaces, whether it be DistroKid or CD Baby or equivalent. There'll be details of that down in the description below, so do click on those if you want to learn more about that as well. Obviously the pandemic has made a lot of people want to move their craft online, and people have been using Facebook Lives to stream and things like that, but I do think there's a lot of scope in being able to learn how to live stream and also to interact with your audiences as well. So if it's something that you would like to be able to do, I have got a free Facebook group, and it is called Tech Tips for Music Educators, Tea Time. So I will leave a link for this in the description below. It's not just for music educators, it's for anyone who wants to learn to live stream, but I've talked about music educators because more and more freelancers, portfolio workers tend to be people who are involved in teaching, in performing, in gigging, in all the different aspects of the music industry. A lot of people are very much a portfolio or multi-hat wearing musician nowadays, and I think that goes the same for composers as well. So composers will be earning their income through different sources, so whether it's promoting themselves online or whether it's doing some teaching work, those live stream tips are really useful. So do check that out over on Facebook. I'm sure you'll love the tips that I've got to share with you there, and I've got some big plans for them as well. I would literally look for sounds, make my own sounds, gather ideas, record those ideas down, and then be able to utilize the equipment, friends and networks around me to be able to really build up that portfolio of work and experience. I'd also like to thank my Patreon supporters who've been superbly supportive over the last few months. And if you want to support me and my channel and also the work that I do, then please check out the links down in the description below as well as a plethora of other amazing playlists that you can get involved with. So if you've got any suggestions from what you would like to see from me on this channel, do drop a comment below. And as ever, I've been Euan. Drop a thumbs for all of you composers out there, all of you amazing people that like to ask questions. I love to answer all the comments down below. And as ever, don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you in the next video.